All right, so I've got another video I'm shooting out here. I tend to go in cycles with my videos. I tend to get really busy with life and I don't spend time much on here, and then I do a lot all at once. So let's talk about, I want to talk today about just I was able to hopefully help somebody yesterday. I was at work, actually two people I hope I had helped. I was at work and I was talking to this girl who thinks that she's pregnant, and she just came out and told me that, she's not sure she's ready to be like a mother, but she definitely would not have an abortion. She was very clear about that. She was like, I definitely, wouldn't have an abortion, as her friends have asked her if she's going to. And as she was sharing this with me, I was supporting her. I'm like, yeah, you definitely don't want an abortion. And she goes, not that I judge other people. I mean, they need to make their own decision, but for me, it's not right. And, we talk about abortion and it's a huge debate, and we get the language mixed up. We really do. It's not judging somebody to say, hey, it's wrong to have an abortion. It's wrong to kill your child. So I had said, I am very strong about abortion. I said it is definitely wrong, and I said, and not that I'm judging. I mean, I can understand it, but it is still wrong. So there is that fine line there of discerning the right and wrong of the issue. It's just pretty black and white there. It's not mixed, it's not gray, it's a pretty clear issue that killing your child is wrong. And then on the other hand, this is funny too, because I've had so many trials and I just feel like life the last couple of weeks is trying to get me down. And usually, when we also feel attacked a lot spiritually, we know that God has a plan for us and it's for our good. And we know, like, when we are trying to do God's work, we are going to be more attacked. When we're trying to be used to help other people, we will be attacked more than the average person who, just goes to work and doesn't use their life to help other people. So the plan is, I really have a passion to help people. And sometimes when life throws things at you, you can get distracted from that. So the other thing that happened that's coincidental is last night I was at my other job, and I was talking to this guy, and we were just talking about, who we like on social media. And I'm like, oh, you're a Catholic. Okay, then you must like Michael Knowles. And he's like, yeah, I love Michael Knowles, and I love so and so and so and so. And then I said, oh, have you ever heard of like Abby Johnson? She's in those circles. And Lila Rose. And he's like, no, who does she work for? And I said, Live Action. And I said, she actually has been in the battle for a while. Her and Abby Johnson, I used to hear little things about them as I was raising my kids, and always admired that they stood and had a voice back then, which we didn't talk about abortion much. And now they are just, because they have been doing this for so long, they're like the two of the strongest voices in the whole world for abortion, for not having abortions. um, and so he had said, oh yeah, abortion is a huge debate right now. It's a huge issue. And I said, right. And he was saying, as I just had my son, he has a toddler. He was saying, I've thought about that issue even more. It's affected me even more now as a father. And he said, I don't know what kind of monster would want to execute their kid. What kind of monster does this? And I spoke up on the other side too of this, where he definitely knows it's wrong to have an abortion for anybody, not just, this is right for me, and that may be right for you. And that's where, we take that philosophy, and it belongs in some arenas of life, like, this is, you do you and I'll do me. on some of the issues, but not on abortion. It's not applicable to applying that same philosophy when it comes to that. So he was extremely right. It is what kind of monster does kill their kid. It's correct. But yet at the same time, I came right up beside him with grace. And as I told this girl earlier today at work, I can understand it. I'm not going to judge it. I understand it, but it's wrong. And I had shared with her just about the fact that as a kid I had, a forced abortion, and I had, so I said to this guy that I had just met, and we kind of like connected right away on, political stuff. I had said that a lot of girls, though, don't know. They don't know better. And he agreed. He did agree with that. And I said, the language is so deceptive. It's hard to basically see the truth when you have this happening. And he said, exactly. He said, Planned Parenthood, think of the name. It's not even, he's like, think of that, how deceptive that is. That's not even parenthood. I said, exactly, exactly. Planned Parenthood, I would like to see down. I told him, and he would too. I mean, there's a lot of people who do not support this, movement or, group of people. And, if you think about it, it really is deceptive. It's not parenthood at all. So along with this, I had also told the girl that I was working with a little bit about the details about the abortion, and I didn't actually like go into the abortion. I went into how I got there, kind of thing. I told her I was just 16, and I didn't even know what an abortion was. And the whole thing is to, maybe if I knew, it wouldn't have been so traumatic. I don't know. But I didn't know what it was. And then I told her I had people like in the background, like amongst me, talking amongst themselves. The people all like made decisions and had information in the background that I did not have. And, something I haven't shared on here is my boyfriend's father at the time was a fire chief of that community. So he definitely didn't want his son in trouble. And to save face, someone had to pay. And that was taking me to have an abortion and to have that baby die so everyone could go on in life as if nothing happened. Protecting their reputation, protecting, what other people might say, being pregnant at a young age. He was a little bit older than me, so I think that, I think it was by a couple years, that wouldn't have made such a big difference. But just the secrecy in society and not wanting to, deal with having children out of wedlock, or instead, not saying, okay, this is your responsibility, so you need to get married. So I, lots to unpack. So I just, I said to this girl, and hopefully this will help, because this is something I wanted to do with my life. And I always said, if I could help one person, help one girl not have an abortion, I would be happy with that. And I told her, you don't ever want to have an abortion. I made it like a black and white issue. I said it affects you all your life. And even up to this point, I've had something in my life. I'll talk about it here instead of doing a separate video. We stayed with a family for a week and a half, just because we're in between finding a home right now, where we lost our home because the landlord was selling. And in this market, we were given 1 week to find a place by a judge. So this is not your typical homelessness, but we are homeless right now. And because of that, when I left and decided not to stay with this family because I didn't think it was a respectful situation. I didn't think it was healthy. They actually sat my kids down without me being there when I was at work, and behind my back just took their perspective of what they thought and decided for themselves that it was up to them to make some decisions without me about my life, and basically tell my kids if they could, they would take them in without me, and they don't want to see them on the streets, and da 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 da, without any other information or any input at all on how I'm seeing things. I mean, my perspective is, yeah, we're going to be in hotels. We're going to be trying to figure this out while I'm looking for a place to live. We have had an Airbnb where people from Ukraine also had a place that my husband was staying at, and we were thinking about trying to figure out that too, maybe how to get us all, over there. But that had fallen through because they needed the money to support their family a little bit more quicker, like a double payment, and that wasn't working for us. So, yeah, so she took it upon herself, this woman I stayed with, to actually take her perspective and put it on us in a very vulnerable time in my life right now. And so, thinking of taking my kids away after already being post-abortive, wanting my kids to stay with her, is such an insult, and it's pretty rude. I mean, it goes beyond rude. And this woman has just basically, who can tell, a lack of boundaries with how other people might feel about situations, a lack of respect. So we're good. We're living in luxury right now in the hotels, and we are good. And all homelessness is not the same. I was in one Bible study where someone said, he tends to be judgmental with homeless people. He thinks either they're on drugs or they did something wrong, and he struggles with that. And that is not the picture of homelessness for everybody. You can work really hard in life. You can be doing everything that you possibly can that's right. You can, we left that home on as good as terms as we could. I mean, he was paid for a couple months extra too, just the way the situation worked. So he was actually blessed by us in many ways. And sometimes doing what's right is more important than, getting a house. I mean, sometimes suffering is part of the Christian life for doing what's right. So anyways, back to my story. So those were two people that God brought into my life yesterday that I hope the conversations were helpful. I hope this girl will understand that it's not, it's right for me, but it may not be right for someone else to be a parent once you're pregnant. And then on the other side, just making sure that we are not so judgmental, and definitely wrong, and we should make laws against it and everything, and understand and have compassion that people do go through very difficult things. It's not just an abortion. It's not just getting pregnant. It's not just not taking responsibility either. It is situations where other people also have brought offenses onto you. And, I just think of how Jesus talks about, he says you're going to be in the world and you're going to have offenses, but woe to those who cause you offenses. And, we live in a broken world. We have a lot of underlying issues that bring about abortion. It can even be your upbringing. It can be, were you taught that fornication's okay? Were you taught that, like, looking at the culture today, and I feel like I can relate a lot to millennials, because back when I was growing up, my family was, the ones I was closest to were a lot like millennials are now. So I don't know that I would say my grandmother was ahead of her time, but the culture was definitely back then something that most people were not like. But now, being ahead of your time I mean, the culture fits more with me now than it used to. So it actually, I said that wrong. It fit with me how I used to be more the culture now than it was back then. So the culture I'm talking about is just so many girls are just brought up just to think that, you know, they don't need to take responsibility. They can have sex. They can do whatever they want, etc., etc. So I'm not going to get into that, but just yeah, there's a lot there, and we don't want to be too judgmental, but we definitely want to come down with a right and wrong on it. So I just want to share about the abortion issue again, and hopefully this video goes out and to be able to help women who may be pregnant and may be deciding whether to abort or not, that there is a difference in how you think about abortion. So I'm going to leave it there.